In this video, we're going to learn about getting the links in Accelerator related to phone numbers to dial out for RingCentral or really any other protocol that you can control with Windows. So the first step is to go to navigate to wherever Sage is installed, to the www root directory, and then go into custom pages. And once you get to custom pages, the Accelerator custom page folder is Sage CRM WS. And from here, you want to make a copy of your web.config file. So following the process that we normally do, we create an archive folder and pop a copy of that in there and give it a uniqueifier so that we preserve what it was before we made any changes. And then, of course, you'll want to edit your web.config file. Double-clicking it on this particular computer opens it in Visual Studio. And then from here, you'll search for the word Skype. When this is released from CRM Together, by default, they have Skype be your phone dialer. So we're going to change this to TEL. Okay? Okay, and then moving off of the CRM server, you'll save that web.config. You need to do a couple of things in your local system. If you run Skype desktop, you're going to want to bring it up, and then you're going to go to Advanced in Settings, and you're going to want to make sure that these two checkboxes are not checked. Those will update the default protocols in your operating system so that Skype takes over for those protocol types. And we don't want Skype to be our dialing. We want RingCentral to be our dialing application. So with those unchecked, you just click Save. And then one more set of settings. You need to get to your control panel. And from your control panel, you'll find Default Programs. And then with Default Programs, you choose Set your default programs. So I like to do this two ways. I like to first find Skype for desktop and then choose default programs for this. And I like to make sure that under these protocols that call to and tell are not associated with Skype. I would uncheck those if they were. And then next step would be back in default programs again. Shouldn't have closed that, but that's okay. Now, if we go to RingCentral in our list of programs and choose defaults for this program, we want to make sure that, at least in the case of my system, everything is checked. But at minimum, we want call to and tell checked. Those are the typical Windows protocols that whenever you click on a phone number, it will issue a call to protocol prior to the phone number and pass that to RingCentral for you. So with that change made, you're going to click Save and OK. Close out your default program setting. Now, if you had Outlook open before any of these settings, you will want to have closed Outlook and now reopen it, because if it was already open, it's going to be remembering the web.config settings from before your change. So you want to make sure you've opened up Outlook after making those web.config changes. So if I start Accelerator now from within Outlook, then it will find, whoever I've got highlighted for my email, of course. And when I click Options, Phone, and double-click a phone number, it actually dials my RingCentral automatically. I'm just going to close that because we don't actually want to call Andy at the moment. And then, of course, at this point, I can type my notes about the call right here and click OK, and that's going to save to CRM. And then, of course, alternatively, this also works from your Internet Explorer session if you have the Accelerator toolbar. So we can, from Outlook, of course, drill over to our session in CRM. And if we do that, opened on a different screen for me, so I'll bring it over. Then now I'm looking at Andy's profile because that popped open for me. And there's a phone icon up here at the top. So if I click on that, it brings up the dialog box for me to choose which of his phone numbers I want to call. Double click on that, and you'll notice RingCentral is now dialing his phone number over here. And again, hang up. And then I type my notes here. Say OK. And then if I go into my communications, I'll move my phone away, look at all communications for him, and you'll see the notes that I just typed in that dialog box appear here. So that's how to get telephone dialing to work from within Sage CRM to dial RingCentral.